Greetings, everyone, and welcome. I am Lady Calamir, and I am doing my 142nd video. It will be on Hestia, and actually, her name would actually be pronounced Hestia. The H is not pronounced. It's Hestia, not Hestia. So Hestia, who is she? She is a Greek goddess. She was one of the original 12 Olympians. She was born from Rhea and Kronos. She was the firstborn. Her siblings were Hera, Poseidonus, Athes, Zeus, Demeter, so she was the firstborn, so she was the first swallowed by Kronos, and she was the last one to be disgorged by Kronos. So she, other than Zeus, who in most stories was not swallowed, and he wasn't swallowed. Rhea gave a rock to Kronos, and swaddling cloth with each was Zeus. But she was the last to be disgorged. So she was the first and the last. And that makes her the eldest born, and in a way the youngest born. So she became one of the 12 Olympians. But when Dionysius came to Olympus, there were only 12 thrones, and which is Dionysius, but that's how he's pronounced in Greek. And he was supposed to be given a throne. She was the one to stand up and move to the hearth, in which she was comfortable with that. She would rather be in the hearth and home than just be some, one of the 12 on the 12 Olympian Council, if that's what you want to call it. So she was the only one to offer her throne to the son of Zeus, which is Zeus. She is a virgin goddess. Figuratively and literally, she is virgin. She never had sex, never had children. Yet, it's like we are all her children in a way. She is in that way able to deal with the family better, with domestic life, even though she is a virgin, never to marry, never to know sex, never to fool around or have flings. She is the domestic goddess, and it is said that all gods have a home with her, that when she's there, all the gods have a home, all the gods and goddesses. She is the central figure of the home and the city. There is the municipal fire to her, and the house fire, and the domestic fires to her. Her fire is not the type to hurt and destroy. Her fire is a gentle fire, is the needful fire, is the sacrificial fire. She took an oath of virginity because two gods wanted her hand. Poseidon, who's Poseidonus in Greek, and Apollonius. Apollo, or Apollyon, and in Rome he's Apollo. And she knew if she chose either Apollonius or Poseidonus, there would be trouble. She doesn't like trouble. She doesn't like drama. She doesn't like chaos. So she went to the king of the gods, put her hand on the head of Zeus, and swore an oath of virginity. And Zeus accepted that she would forever be a virgin. She had no interest in any of this drama. No interest. So Zeus allowed it, and she took her place by the fire. She's a very, very friendly and approachable goddess. She is great for those who are beginning their journey in Hellenism, paganism, witchcraft, Wicca, what have you, goddess, spirituality. She is the most gentle goddess, especially among the Greek goddesses in that pantheon. She's gentle, she's caring, she's loving, she's forgiving, and she's patient. She is humble. She believes in humility. So in Greek rituals, every prayer began when any of the gods were prayed to. When they did this whole big prayer, whole service, they would pray to her first. She was the first prayed to, and she was the last to be prayed to. She was the first to be given the ritual sacrifices. Okay, so she was the Alpha and the Omega of rituals and prayers. Her fires were very sacred. In fact, they weren't allowed to go out, and only they were put out ritually and in ritually relit. When the municipal fire, each town had a municipal fire, and when someone moved from one place to another, they went to Hestia's fire and took a bit of the fire with them to bring to their new town, to bring to their home. Or if they were starting a new town, they would bring the fire of Hestia to her. So she didn't have a lot of temples, but she was in every temple. She was the home, the soul of the temple. She was the everlasting fire. She was a fire used in the ancient Olympic Games. That fire that you see even in modern Olympics represents Hestia. That is Hestia. So she was given the best portions of the sacrifice as well, and given sweet wines. She's not featured in a lot of stories, and that's because she's a homely goddess. She's not having any wild affairs. She's not creating havoc for mortals and for other deities. She's not self-serving. She's not, into any wars. She didn't take part in any wars or battles. She didn't have all these wild, extravagant stories. She didn't. There were 3 virgin deities: Artemis, Athena, and Hestia. And Aphrodite had power over the other deities to make them fall in love, to make them have, lust. But she could not sway the heart of 3 deities. That was Artemis, Athena, and our lady here, Hestia. She had no power. She tried. She really did. But she had no power over the hearts of these three deities. Right, Shadow? Shadow's here. Get him. He just ate. So here is a card of Hestia, and I need to give credit where credit is due. This is Hearth and Home, and this comes from the Goddess Oracle by Amy Sophia Marashinsky and illustrated by Harana Janto. You can get it on Amazon or eBay if it's still in print, but I have to give credit where credit is due. The statue I got at Sacred Source. So, Hestia's element is fire. She is fire. Her attributes, or it's the staff, the kettle, the circle of fire, the flaming circle, which is very sacred to her. So we see the circle that represents eternity, the sacred fire. Like the spiritual sun. In fact, the Gnostics used the Ouroboros. You know what the Ouroboros is? Okay, I know you're all seeing this, but some of you may not know what the name is. Ouroboros is a serpent that is seen eating its own tail to signify eternity, forever. The continuity of energy in life. When we think about the flaming circle, when some witches use circles, Wiccans and witchcraft, when you cast a circle, the flaming circle, the blue circle. In some traditions it's white, and in some circles you can use, different colors for what you need, but it's usually flaming blue circle. One can use that and think of Hestia. She is the circle of fire. She is the fire in the thurible. You don't necessarily even need a statue of her. You can use flame in your candle. Your candle can represent Hestia. You ritually light it and you ritually put it out when you need to. I know I said that people didn't, but modern times and modern things with cats, dogs, pets, children, you don't, God and Goddess forbid that candle gets knocked over and then you don't have a home anymore and everyone dies. So if you are able to keep a candle lit and keep it safe, by all means go ahead. If you could put it somewhere like a sacred metal box or something that allows air but doesn't allow children to get to it or animals, and then you use that flame again to relight a candle. When I need to keep candles burning, I put it in my shower, close the shower door, and then close the door to make sure that no cats can get in. And then if just in case the glass of the candle explodes, it's in the shower. I don't have a fire to deal with. So where she lived in the home with a fireplace, and she could live in a fireplace, you can use your ritual fire, your stove, your oven that you use to cook with, so she can reside in your fireplace and your kitchen. Again, she is a domestic goddess, so she represents the family with the food, feeding of the family, magically transforming your ingredients to make a cake. or the dough to make bread, or to transform your egg from the shell to your scrambled egg. She makes it so that power makes things edible and tasty. Her power is to also feed the family. Now, when she's in the fire and you hear the cracks and the like the pops, that's actually Hestia laughing. Not in a bad way, but in a good way, because she is a mirthful goddess. She is a glad goddess. She is a happy goddess. Her audible gift to us is her laughter. She is a gentle goddess. She is a caring divinity. There is nothing aggressive about Hestia. Her power can be used to bless the home with care and love and serenity and peace. So you can bless your home with her power. You can use a candle and incense. She is a goddess of happiness and togetherness and feasting. She'd rather see people get together and work out their problems than fight. She's not into war. She doesn't get into wars. So she's a goddess of blessing. She's very beautiful. Even when she's seen as a very mature goddess, she's very beautiful. Fire is her element. She's even seen to be holding fire. By the way, your thurible is also a good representation of Hera. I'm sorry, Hestia. Sorry, Hestia. Sometimes she's seen as a woman, half woman on the top and fire on the bottom. So her bottom part is sometimes seen as fire, and her top part is human. Her Roman counterpart is Vesta. Vesta. You know the Vestal virgins? There were supposed to be 6. Okay, how they were chosen? They were chosen through a lottery. They were picked by lots, and they were from the most noble families. So 6 young girls were chosen to be her Vestal virgins, her priestesses, whether they wanted to or not. You know. They were not to marry. They were not to have sex. Vestal virgins. That's where we get the Vestal from, Vesta. Hestia, when you look at the name Hestia, which means essence. Hestia. So we get a little bit of her name, essence. But Hestia, the whole literal name means the hearth. Hearth, hearth. She is the fire that keeps you warm, to cook your food, to give you comfort. She's the fire of sacred ritual and of sacrifice. She is the sacred fire on the Mount Olympus with the gods, that in the stories where she was the sacred fire on Olympus, in the cities, and in the home. She represents the continuity of life, the caring for children. She was a goddess of women. So she is happiest when she helps. But you need to ask her for help. She's not the type that just interferes. She may come to you. She really may come to you. Or you may feel pulling to her, or you may have dreams of her. But as far as really interfering, dollar for donut, she may not interfere unless you call her. She's dressed. When she's a woman, she is very regal looking, very gracious. She's a modest. She has modesty. She's not sexual in any way. Yet she helps the continuation of, if this makes sense, she's not dressed sexy. She doesn't tempt mortals into sex, but she is about the continuity of life. All gods and goddesses have rest within Hestia. All gods and goddesses have comfort with Hestia. They have a home with her, like we can find comfort with her, and we can find home with her. She is used to bless rituals, and she is used to bless the home, to bless the place. She is the sacred fire. She is that of rest and relaxation and spirituality. Her qualities deal with discipline, not to hurt or to punish, but discipline in your actions, to have discipline to keep on going. She's the dedication to duty. She's modesty, she's prudence, she's continuity, she's acceptance. When people were in trouble, they would go to her fires. It was an affront to her if someone came to a home looking for help. Women that were looking for shelter in the name of, especially by Hestia's name, were not to be raped or sexually abused. It was an affront to her. So Hestia can become like the goddess of foreigners that come to the town or the city or the land, that, to look for food, shelter, safety. And remember, she has no offspring, no mate, no husband. So there's a story about one of the gods trying to rape her. And it was when a god, one of the gods decided to throw a party, and the deities were drinking, and there was food, there was laughter. But Hestia, she decided to lay down on the ground and just take a nice rest. And Priapus, well, Silenus wasn't invited, but his goat, not, sorry, his donkey, not his goat, his donkey got to the party. So this is very important the reason why I brought this up. But Priapus was there. Red Priapus, the savior of the gardens. And Priapus spied Hestia. And he decided he was gonna, have sex with her. And then the donkey brayed real loud. And she woke up in a fright and saw Priapus. And she screamed. The deities heard it, and they saw Priapus with what he was doing. And boy, did they give him a beating. Now, in some stories, he actually claims ignorance. He thought she was a nymph. Because that's what he was doing. He was looking for nymphs, the nymphi, to have sex with. But they still beat his ass. They came to her rescue because she was a virgin. You gotta understand, she's virginal, she's innocent, she's pure, she's without spot. So, let me show you some cool things. And we see the serpent eating an egg on the offering bowl. And you'll notice in the comic book, Wonder Woman? Wonder Woman wields the golden lasso that radiates this magical light, this aura, in which when she puts them around someone, it compels someone to tell the truth and the whole truth. So because of what the donkey did during her certain celebrations, they were not sacrificed. In fact, they were well taken care of. They were dressed up in flowers, and they were spared from sacrifice in honor for what the donkey, for Silenus' donkey, did for her. Her color is white. I forgot to mention that her color is white. Also, another symbol for her is the veil. So, flaming circle, veil. She has a staff. The domestic hearth or fireplace of fire. The flame. And you think that we have auras, our cats have auras, inanimate objects have this energy around it. If you know about Carillion photography, it takes pictures of auras. That we have this flaming light around us, different colors, yellows, blues, red, even when it becomes brown and black. It's a sacred fire around us. So Hestia is the center of our home. She is the sacred light. I know some people like to attribute like male is fire, but she's fire too, and she's all feminine. So, offerings. I mean, back in the day, people would offer, sacrifice of different animals and cows, cattle. But what can we give her? Of course, a sacred flyer built to her, give her a nice candle. Since white is her color, I would suggest a white candle. I mean, you can use red to represent, fire, but her color is white. Bearable, sweet wines were offered to her. So you can give her offering of food in your home, bread, fruits, vegetables, maybe some of the food you just cooked, or dedicate the food to her. So you can call upon her when you cook and say, I'm cooking for, my family, and that could be your boyfriend or your friends that have come over, and showing that of hospitality. Or even if it's just cooking for yourself. You give her some flour, flour we're not talking about, we could give her flowers too, but we're talking about flour that makes the bread. You could give her some of that. Give her some grains, some cereal, milk, a nice, water. Everyone likes to give their deities water, usually, but juices. If you don't have wine, if you're a recovering alcoholic and you prefer not to have wine, that's fine. Give her sweet juices. Give her grape juice. Make a nice, refreshing hibiscus tea for her. Something that's refreshing. You can bake cakes for her, bake bread. Give her even dried fruits and nuts. And give her incense. She likes incense. And you can think of more of incense or herbs that represent fire, or that has a sweet scent. Honey, honeycombs, even honey cakes. Meat. Some of these things are not traditional, but they're in modern times and things have changed. We're not, I'm sure people who are watching this are not relying solely on hunting and gathering. I know probably every one of us is going to the grocery store and not just going out to their fields only. So things have changed. We can go to a restaurant or a fast food restaurant, get our food. And that's fine. You can offer her some, food that you've gotten from a fast food restaurant. Again, things change. Our deities evolve. Things evolve. So those are just some ideas of what to give her. She is a goddess of order, not chaos. She's a goddess of respect and self-confidence. She doesn't like to cause problems. She is a solution to problems. She can help resolve matters in the home, help you solve legal issues. Conducting and any type of ritual. She'll help you to even deepen and connect with, with the spiritual realms. She is the family. She is also the concept of the state, the family and the state and civilization. Fire is what separates us from the rest of nature, right? Humans have that ability to make fires, not bears, not lions, not tigers. Well, a dog or cat can make a fire by knocking over the candle, but they're not the one who lit the fire, now are they? We are. And because of fire, we have modern technology. You know, we evolved. So she's not even considered by some to even be recognized as the 12 Olympians. She is an Olympian goddess, but some people don't even call her one of the 12. Because again, she gave up her throne for Dionysius. But in Greek it's Dionysius. Is the best way I could pronounce it. She can really help you connect with the spiritual realms, with the sacred, with your self, to realize that you are whole. To self-realization, the sacred within the self, that sacred fire that's within you. There's a sacred flame within us. There's a sacred fire. There's an aura, or chakras, or lights, different colors. She is that fire within us. And when you think about it, even our digestive fires that transform the food we eat into energy, into nutrition for our bodies, to transform it and to get rid of the waste, what we don't need. She is that fire in our bellies. Our stomach, I should say. Her power extends even over altars. She has become the guardian of the innermost things. So in Theodorus Siculus, I'm sorry, said that Hestia discovered how to build houses. So because of this, that people have established her shrine in every home. Remember where I told you her shrine is? Rewind the video. So what else can I say about Hestia, this wonderful goddess, a very important goddess too. She may not have more power than the three, Zeus, Poseidon, and Hades, which is Zeus, Poseidon, and Hades. But she is very important. Now we look even to her name of Hestia, which is Earth. When we see that Estin is reality, Estin. Ulcia is also reality. So we're starting to see a little bit more about her name. Her powers. She brings goodwill and welcomes people. She is a welcoming goddess. And very friendly. Nothing scary about her. For without Hestia, you can't hold a banquet. You can't hold, I mean, she's the, she, how can you hold a feast without her fires? How can you cook your food? And remember, she's not the fire that's meant to burn down your home. She laughs a lot and she blesses a lot. She brings gentle health and inspires goodness. Her astrological sign is definitely Virgo. Virgo is her astrological sign. So, just in case you wanted to ask me that. So, she is not the type to get angry. So have no fear of her. I've been talking about this for like 42 minutes, so I'm going to start summing it up. So, oh shoot, what was I going to say about her? So anyways, so I really hope you like this video of Hestia. I hope I've explained things about her, and I hope that you got a lot about her, that she, in the form of a goddess, she represents the maiden, even though sometimes she's mature, but she represents all our forms of women's life, but people like to put her as the maiden, the virgin goddess. She is the she deals with society, socializing. She deals with, like I said, gathering. And, you know, in America, we just had Thanksgiving. So, anyways, if you like my video, please give me a thumbs up. If you didn't, please give me a thumbs down. You know, I hope you like this video. Like and subscribe. Share my video with your friends and family. And since I don't have a Patreon account, please give to charities that help families in distress. Think about donating some food to the food pantry. You know, even if it's something small, it could be some canned beans, it could be a bag of rice, it could be something eloquent, you know. Pantries do freeze milk and give it out frozen, you know, even organic milk. You know, when times are hard, a long time ago, I used to go to the pantry too. So once in a while, I would need some help, and there's no shame in that. So, and you know, so you know, I know what it was like to struggle so bad. So, you know, donate juice, donate, you know, bottled water, and you can donate blankets. I mean, some places it's going to get real, real cold. And it's already been cold in some places. So think about helping families in need. Be good to yourself, be good to animals. And as always, blessed be.